Hi, and welcome to the study. Today we're going to discuss Judaism, and we have a big problem, a very big essential problem, and we're going to understand it today. Before I state this, I'll just wait to my last point, but you'll see. In Joshua 23:7 it says this, that ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of their gods, nor cause them to swear by them, nor bow yourselves to them. So God is saying that do not mix with other nations. This is the people who come from Israel. It continues in Joshua 23:12, and it says, else if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you. So he's saying, do not marry, shall make marriages with them. He's saying, do not marry these other nations who are not Israelites. The problem here is that when he's saying do not mix, it's not talking about Judaism, because Judaism actually is a religion. It's not actually the actual race. So we see here that this is the Israelite race, and we're going to see it right now. So first of all, most Jewish people have mixed. Most people who are from Israel have mixed. So when God was speaking about the people who come from Israel, he was actually specifying the race, as we're going to see now, in 1 Kings 18:31. It says this, and Elijah took the 12 stones, according to the number of tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. So Elijah takes the 12 stones and he puts them to the 12 tribes. I myself am from the tribe of Levi, and I can prove it by bloodline. I am a Levite. So I was a high priest at one point in Israel. Some of my, not me, but my ancestor was. So the thing is that you can be Jewish, but it doesn't mean you're from Israel. And God was speaking about the people who had the bloodline, not about the Jewish people. He didn't say Jewish don't mix. He said people from Israel don't mix with other races. So he was talking about the actual genetics. The problem is that most Jewish people do not come from Israel. So their blessings of the 12 tribes, which came from the blessings of Jacob, does not apply to them. And if it doesn't apply to them, then who are these people? They are not from Israel. And this is the problem, that most Jewish people are not from Israel. But that doesn't mean anything, because God gave a promise to the bloodline. As we should know, Ashkenazi Jews, which are the blonde Jews from Eastern Europe, we know there's a story about Caesarea, which is in Turkey. It was a Turkish kingdom, and it's called Caesarea. And a lot of people who were pagans and also Christians converted to Judaism, and it was the 7th century after Christ. Right at the same time Islam came. Muhammad went to Mecca next time. But anyway, this kingdom rose, and they all converted to Judaism. So we had 1 million people convert to Judaism because the king said so. Most of the people that came from Caesarea have actually expanded to Poland, Eastern Europe, and a lot of these people went to the United States, because there were not a lot of Ashkenazi Jews prior to the mass conversion these people in Turkey had. So we have a big problem, because most people who are Jewish are not from the bloodline, and God said not to mix because he was referring to the bloodline. He wasn't referring to the religion. Plus, Judah is from the tribe of Judah. It doesn't. What about the tribe of Levi? What about the tribe of? We have other tribes. So what about them? Judah is the one that formed Judaism. So you know that. Judah was the form that formed Judaism, and the tribe from Benjamin followed them. But what about the other 10 tribes? What about the tribe of Reuben? I don't know. What about the tribe of Levi? What about the other tribes? You see, Judaism was formed from the tribe of Judah. But there was a prior belief to this. And I'm going to show you what this belief was. Because if we look at Abraham, he wasn't Jewish because there's no Judaism then. However, he did see God in a three-man form, which is the God is three, which is, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But we're going to get to this in Esther 2:15. So we said the Bible specifies when somebody was Jewish. Now Shushan, in Shushan, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, Benjamite. So again, we see that Mordecai had the bloodline, so he was truly a Jewish person. So he was from the tribe of Judah because he was Jewish, and at the same time, what happened? His bloodline was from a Benjamite. Interesting. And we continue, and this is the most crucial point. What did the Jewish people believe at the time? Because we want to make sure what they believe at the time. Now we're going to see right now, and it's very interesting. I'm going to get this. I'll put it down so you can see. So let's see. Okay. So we get in Daniel 3:12. They are certain Jews. What happened was that Nebuchadnezzar made an idol. He made such a big idol that he wanted everybody to worship it. But these three people, these three Jewish people, which were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, said, "No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to worship." So they were Jewish. So 3:16 says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer in this matter." It continues in 3:17, and it says, "If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king." Obviously, after Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said this to the king Nebuchadnezzar, who was a great king at the time of Babylon, he got really mad. So what did he do? He threw him into the oven of fire. And as a result, what happens? We go here, and we see the most odd of oddest things that we can find. It's 3:25, Daniel, and it says this. He answered, this is Nebuchadnezzar, and said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th one is like the Son of God." Wait, these people are Jewish. Jewish people don't believe that God has a son. So again, no her, and the form of the 4th one is like the Son of God. So you're telling me that the people, the Jewish people, the one with the bloodline, of course, believe in the Son of God, because he said, what did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said? "If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king." So what happens afterwards? It says, Nebuchadnezzar is watching, he says, he answered and said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th one is like the Son of God." So God delivered them, because God came down and delivered them, and this God is the Son of God. The problem is that either David, either any of the kings said this, "I am Jewish." God never said, "Be Jewish." There's no verse in the Bible that God says, "Go and be Jew." If you're not a Jew, you're not saved. There is no verse, because it's a human invention. Judaism came from the tribe of Judah, and we know that through history they worshipped other idols, other gods, with the Romans, with the Greeks, and this is proven historically. And in the mentality of the true Jew, which is to believe in the Son of God, became eroded with other mentalities And in the end, we get this one God that it's not in the Bible, that most Jewish people believe. Remember, if you're actually really Jewish, you should be from the tribe of Judah by blood. I'm not a Jewish person because I'm a Levite, but by blood I am from Israel. So I have claims to the land that God made me disperse, but it's, but that was it. But I'll be unified in the true Israel, which is the Israel of heaven. And this is the spiritual Israel. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this. None of the prophets, none of the kings said like this, I am Jewish. And unfortunately, if you find this verse, you should contact me because I have never found it. Thank you for watching. Jesus Christ is God, and He loves you.